Hi guys. God, all dusty. Right. Let's get. Sorry about that. Sorry about the delay. My bloody coffee machine stopped working. I think I've managed to get it working now. Right. Quickly put Elvis on. Gotta have Elvis on, guys. YouTube. We need Elvis in the background. It's very important to me. Let's have a look. Where are we? Where are we? I don't know how long I've got. I'm a bit unsure how much time we got, guys. I'm going to give it a go and just. I'm not sure how long we've got. It's all to do with my kids at football. They ring me when they need a lift, stuff like that. So, my God, the heat. Right. Okay, let's get cleaned up. Right, okay. Right, how are we going? So, we want to do part 2 of the Mike Stone interview with Stefan on Artists on Records, his great YouTube channel. Of course, we're all chuffed to bits that last night we did our first live stream show with another YouTube channel. So we loved it. Team Elvis were brilliant. Brilliant. Now, whilst I was waiting for the coffee machine to work, I stumbled on something. I'm going to play a few minutes of it and we're going to review this. So, but today, right now, we're doing part 2 of the Mike Stone interview with Stefan that was only recorded a few days ago. So it's very, very recent. But let me just quickly play this because I thought we got Shelley Fabars, who did 3 films with Elvis. I think it was Girl Happy, Clambake. What was the other one? You guys will tell me. This is a very recent interview. Shelley Fabars. This is 1 day ago and the channel is called The Classic. The Classic. The Classic. I thought, oh, I might review that because she is interesting. She's lovely, isn't she? Shelley Fabars. So I thought I'll play a couple of minutes of it, give you a feel for it. Then we're going to start doing part 2 of the Mike Stone interview.
Hi, this is the first episode of a 3-episode interview that I did with Shelley Fabre from the Donna Reed Show and Coach, and her husband, Mike Farrell, who was BJ Honeycutt on MASH. These are just terrific moments with these two. I absolutely love doing these interviews. And so enjoy the first episode and watch for the others. Well, fantastic. Today on That's Classic, this is a really fun one. I mean, it's kind of neat to be able to do this. But today we have none other than, I'll give quick introductions, the star of the Donna Reed Show and Coach, Shelley Fabre, and the star of MASH, BJ Honeycutt, of course, Mike Farrell. So they're on today, and they're going to answer fan questions. So welcome, guys.
Welcome.
So
happy to have you call.
So we're going to review this probably tomorrow. Today I want to do the Mike Stone interview. I also want to review our live stream that we had with Stefan at Artists on Records, his YouTube channel. Stefan was great. We loved it. Team Elvis, we loved it. So I'm going to go through the different questions that Stefan was asking Team Elvis, the different things he was saying to me. Also, the topic that he chose, Stefan, was the fact that the fans are very unhappy with the 90th birthday celebrations at Graceland and how much of a letdown it was. That was his topic of our live stream. He has said that we're going to do another Friday. I'm happy to do another live stream. What do you think, guys? Do you think we should do another live stream? Team Elvis obviously came with me. We all supported each other. It was great. I'm going to play a couple more minutes of this, and then we're going to start doing the Mike Stone one.
Listen, we're happy to be here.
Absolutely. Great. It's going to be fun. So I'll tell you what, I'll just start it off, and we'll see where we go. Here we go. All right, our first one is from Joan. This is for Shelley. Loved Girl Happy and Clambake. I've watched them so many times. What was it like when Elvis sang to you? You both had such loving looks for each other.
Well, thank you, Joan. Well, they were always sort of the same when they would photograph either him or me. The cameras would be very close to us, and they would have a close lens on it too. So, and always all the other people that are on the set, they're all in your vision too. They're all right behind him and behind me for him to look at. So he and I had a good time working together, and we laughed a lot. And I would say that my main memory of doing those shows and those shots is that I felt a real connection with him, and I think he did with me too. And I think that's what people sort of responded to. I do get letters. Say, oh,
okay, so I don't want to do too much of that because we're going to review that, but that just gives you a taster of what we're going to do. I mean, I love Shelley Fabaz. She was gorgeous. I liked her 3 films that she did with Elvis, and she's very popular with the fans. She always speaks well of Elvis. And I just think we're going to enjoy going through that and just seeing the interesting things that she tells us about meeting Elvis, being with Elvis, spending time with Elvis. I know she had recently been married. I have posted a couple of other Shelley Fabaz things in the past, so I am aware of her. She just seems lovely. She just seems lovely. And we all liked MASH. Didn't we all watch MASH? I was a fan of MASH. I used to think it was great. Right, let's start reviewing part 2 of Stefan's Mike Stone interview where he discusses Priscilla and Lisa. Let me get it up. I'm going to find his channel. We're halfway into it. If you want to see part 1, obviously, guys, go back and check out part 1 that we did this morning. Let's find it. Now, I'm not sure how long I've got. I'm going to go with, if I get a phone call from my son to go and collect him, I'm going to have to shoot off. I don't have a choice. So he's going to be with his mates today anyway. He doesn't really need me, but he may need a lift home. This is my point.
Like I said, whatever.
Right.
This is his phone.
And it's an interesting of how bad that day was. How bad. Just get to the right.
Where was he? Does anybody know? Get me.
So, guys, do you remember he actually called Billy Stanley last night and got Billy Stanley on the show with us? I thought that was fantastic. Billy Stanley, Elvis's stepbrother, was on our show with Stefan. Brilliant. Brilliant, guys. Absolutely loved it.
You know, it's very sad. The way she looks now, that's again, you can
So,
say it's tragic and she wasn't satisfied. Naturally beautiful.
So we see Mike Stone talking about Priscilla and how beautiful she was and how she basically has damaged her looks, that she must have been very insecure to go under the knife, guys, because she was a naturally beautiful woman. I think she would have aged gracefully, quite beautifully. She has ruined her face. She has ruined her face. So Mike Stone is talking about that.
But see, I just found 30 pictures I took of Priscilla that when I called home, they went to the storage and found this short album. And these were personal pictures that I've taken of Priscilla. And my God, with no makeup, she is such a gorgeous woman, just naturally beautiful. So she didn't need anything to enhance her appearance. But at some point in her life, apparently she wasn't satisfied with that. So when you start changing your physical appearance and the way she looks now, that's again, you can say it's tragic and it's sad because somebody so naturally beautiful, aren't they sad? Don't they know in their heart that it's who they are inside that is the beauty? It's not the exterior look. So, you know, it's very sad. It's very sad.
It's very sad. And I know I spoke with you before. I went to Graceland and just we're fascinated as fans of the music and all that. But when you go to Graceland,
so let me just quickly say that. So he's obviously talking about her looks and the plastic surgery. So what are your views, guys? Why did such a beautiful woman, because she was still very beautiful in her 30s and 40s, I would say even 50s. Why did she turn to plastic surgery? What is going on with her psychologically? Is she damaged? Was she very insecure? Is she paranoid about how she looks? Did she want to just stay young looking? Why did she ruin herself with all these different operations? I don't understand it.
Taste on your taste buds when you walk out, because you see Lisa Marie, you see her son next to her, you see Elvis.
Hi, Sandra.
Just the whole thing is it's very dark. You don't walk away feeling good, for me personally. I'm glad you wrote the book, and you do give a light on the relationship and your time with Priscilla, Lisa Marie Presley. Links will be up here. Make sure if you guys want to order it, you can click right there. In the past, you're surrounded personally by stories and movies about Elvis, and you're often seen as the guy who took the king's wife. Now, to clear the air here, because a lot of people think, oh, that was Elvis's friend.
Right, I have to comment on this. Mike Stone is seen as the guy who took Elvis's wife. 100%. He became the bad guy, the enemy of the Elvis fans. I just think the general public in general blamed Mike Stone for taking Priscilla from Elvis, also for Lisa Marie leaving her father. But when you start to understand the facts, it actually wasn't Mike Stone's doing. In my opinion, it was actually Priscilla's doing. So when you understand that Priscilla made a beeline for Mike Stone, she wanted him. She decided to go for him. So he was a bit of a victim, yeah. And she was a stunningly beautiful woman. I didn't think many men could say no to Priscilla. She was obviously very wealthy and sexy. Elvis's wife, I think. For Mike Stone, it was almost impossible to say no. He felt flattered. He was insecure about his looks. He was surprised and shocked that she liked him so much, especially to leave Elvis for him. What he didn't realize, in my opinion, was that he was being used. And she dropped him as soon as she'd had her use of Mike Stone, in my opinion. So in some ways, I actually feel sorry for him, because he then went on to have literally 50 years of hate. He's become very, very unpopular. Even now, as an elderly man, he still gets hate. He still gets it. And I don't hate Mike Stone. I don't hate him. I see him as a victim. Unfortunately, Priscilla acts like he didn't exist. Priscilla acts like Mike Stone did not exist. She never, ever talks about him, which must be quite difficult for Mike Stone, where she's always like making sure that he is never mentioned. Let's keep going, guys. Here we go.
How could he have done that? And let me give you say what you have to say about that.
Well, first of all, there's, like all situations in life, not with somebody famous, but just between normal people, there's a lot of misinterpretation, misunderstanding, assumptions. That's how we are as human beings. So we create our reality through our perceptions. So the idea that has been floated around for many, many years is that I was Elvis's instructor. I mean, many people come up to me and say, oh, how does it feel to teach Elvis Presley karate? I never taught him a lesson. Then the other thing was, you were very, very close friends. I met him 4 times in my life. 3 of the times were within a minute or 2, and 1 time a little bit longer.
But yeah, so we do have to, I just briefly want to say, people do think he was an instructor. People do think that he gave Elvis lessons, he gave Priscilla lessons, and they do think that Mike Stone and Elvis were friends. They were never friends. They had very brief meetings. I think he did eventually give Priscilla some lessons, but that was just all about Priscilla chasing him around to be with him because she fancied him. So they were not friends. They hardly had met, Elvis and Mike. Now, of course, Elvis looked up to Mike Stone as a badass champion, yeah? But the bottom line is they didn't really know each other.
the type of friendship people are assuming that we had. We were not close friends. Now, I think if I was with him, I think I could have influenced him to make a change, because he was so vulnerable. But I think a lot of times, even when they asked Priscilla, well, why did you stay with him? You loved him and you have all of this, and why would anybody give that up? Well, she has an agenda too. She has a life she wants to live. She has goals and dreams. And why shouldn't she? Like anyone else, why can't you live your dreams? Why you keep denying your power and your abilities? So listen, we all go through this. I was never that close to Elvis, so I didn't think that I did anything against him. I'm not going to go out and try to hurt him. I was as selfish as
So can I try and involve you on this? Yeah, obviously many of you will watch this later. It's quite early in the day. A lot of you are in America. Many of you are in England, Australia, Canada, etc. But do you guys think that Mike Stone is in the wrong? Do you think he set out to harm Elvis? Do you think this was about how can I say it? Do you blame Mike Stone in any way for the breakup of the marriage, for taking Lisa Marie, or do you think he was a victim of Priscilla and this was all about Priscilla, her deciding to go and get Mike Stone and using Mike Stone as a way to get away from Elvis, to get away from the family home with Lisa? Can you put that in your comments? If you watch this tomorrow or later, please put it in the comments.
Myself happy, and Priscilla gave me an opportunity of a lifetime for somebody that was ugly, poor, and not famous. I mean, like you said,
I want to rewind that bit. Now I've been saying this. I think Mike Stone, even though he was a karate champion, was very insecure about his looks, the fact that he was poor. I think he couldn't believe that Priscilla liked him. He actually thought he was ugly. So I think this says a lot. This says a lot.
And Priscilla gave me an opportunity of a lifetime for somebody that was ugly, poor, and not famous. I mean, like you said, what can it do to a man's ego? If Elvis was damaged by what had happened, we all going to suffer that. My ego was confronted, and I took the easy way out. So it's a choice I made. I had to accept the results, outcomes, and consequences of my choices, and I did through the hatred and negativity of other people perceiving me, and that's the price I have to pay.
Right.
But my point
I mean, I have to comment on that bit because this is key to me. Yeah, he had to accept the results of the consequences and the circumstances and his choices. Once he gave in to his desires, because I think that's what it was ultimately. He wanted sex with Priscilla, yeah, and it was a two-way thing. They wanted sex with each other at any cost, even if it meant losing his wife. So his wife was pregnant. Of course, he had a small girl as well. They were married. So he gave in to his temptation and the desires. Obviously, I feel Priscilla seduced him as well. I definitely think he was a seduced man. He was seduced. He tries to sort of say, I have to accept the consequences of my actions. I agree with Sandra. She said it was all about his ego. I agree with that. He couldn't believe that Priscilla, this beautiful, famous, wealthy woman, Elvis's wife, liked him. And in the end, he made all the mistakes that men should not make when they are married with children, yeah, especially a pregnant wife. I think what makes all of this so sad is that Frances Stone, his wife, was pregnant. That is, to me, that is the biggest horrific part of this story. That poor woman, Frances Stone, who did forgive Priscilla very quickly after this happened. Remember, Priscilla befriended Frances Stone. They were going out together, having dinner parties together. They were going to tournaments, karate tournaments together. Priscilla befriended Frances and was secretly sleeping with Mike Stone behind Frances's back. So this is all very cruel behavior from Priscilla. Very cruel. I don't think you can get any worse. Tell me if you disagree, guys. I don't think you can get any worse than a woman, a wife, secretly befriending someone else's wife that's pregnant and having sex with her husband, but pretending to be her friend, and they had a 3-year-old daughter. So this is pretty brutal, guys. This is very severe, unforgivable when it comes to Priscilla. I personally think Mike Stone, he gave into temptation and ruined his life. I personally feel that when he betrayed his wife, his unborn child, his little daughter, he ruined his life. And he was hated for it for the rest of his life. He's in his 80s now. I don't hate Mike Stone. I see him as a victim, but he did give in to temptation. So yes, he had to suffer the consequences of his choices. It doesn't make it right that the fact that he was punished and suffered the consequences of his choice doesn't make it okay. Does not make it okay. We want Mike Stone to really, truly say he is sorry. He has showed some regret. He has said that he admits that he hurt people. He has said that he feels that it was a mistake. You know, he made mistakes. But then he tries to own it and say, but everyone does it. Come on, this happens in everyday life. But no, it doesn't. I would say, yes, people split up in everyday life. Marriages break down in everyday life. But for a man to be unfaithful to his wife that is pregnant, and they have a small child, I think that's very unusual. I think it's very unusual for a man to be unfaithful when his wife is pregnant. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Okay, guys.
Can you imagine the people that still feel this way today after 50 years? I am sad for them. I am sad that if you hear my name, it throws you back 50 years into your life and you bring in that negative energy into your present existence. I mean, it cannot be a happy life.
Okay.
If you're living that far.
Well, of course, I have to comment on that. Now, look, I am bringing it up. Louis at Defending Elvis Presley with Team Elvis. I am bringing it up. Let me just bring this camera a bit nearer. So I'm having to lean back quite a lot. The sun's in my face. It really annoys me. Now, I'm not sad. I live a very happy life. I'm not bringing up something that happened 50 years ago because I have a sad life. Yeah. I don't care if it's 1 month ago or if it's 50 years ago. We are here to defend Elvis Presley. We can't say, oh, because it happened in the past, it doesn't warrant defending. To me, if there's been wrongdoing, whether it was 1 year ago or 100 years ago, and we are trying to defend Elvis to clear his image, his reputation, to help preserve his legacy, we're going to bring it up. It's not because we're sad. It's not because we have no lives. I just see Mike Stone here. Mike, if you're watching my show, you're just having a snipe at the fans. You're basically saying to millions of fans, oh, by the way, if you don't like me because of how I treated Elvis, how I treated Lisa 50 years ago, then you're a sad, unhappy person. That's just not good enough. Calling the fans sad, unhappy, with no lives because they have strong opinions and they want to defend Elvis and Lisa, it's just a snipe. I feel that in this interview with Stefan, Stefan is a great guy, by the way. He uses this interview, and you'll see in part 1, he uses this interview to have a little dig. Oh, look at Priscilla. She messed with her face. She ruined her look. She was so beautiful. Oh, look at fame and fortune. Look what fame and fortune did to Elvis and Lisa and Priscilla. It ruined all their lives. He's having a dig and a snipe. Or I see that Mike Stone, in case you're watching me, instead of using this opportunity with Stefan at Artists on Record, this is obviously on his YouTube channel. Stefan is a great guy, by the way. instead of using it as an opportunity to really truly say sorry, to really admit wrongdoing and just apologize to your wife, to your children that obviously are grown up now. I don't know if you have a relationship with the children that you had with Francis, or I don't know if you have a relationship with Francis. Obviously, you don't speak to Priscilla. Priscilla acts like you don't exist. Lisa Marie obviously didn't ever meet you. I think you did say that you saw her from a distance once. But my point is this. This is only about half an hour long, isn't it? Now, what I see that Mike does is this. Oh, look at them. They ruined their lives. They got famous. Famous people are not happy. Money doesn't make you happy. Living in a mansion doesn't make you happy. Ha, ha, ha. The most important things in life are the simple things. This is what he's sort of saying. Yeah. Well, I think many people that have money and are successful and famous are happy. But I also agree that fame damages. Fame does a lot of damage. It does. Many people can't handle fame. But I could also say the same thing about normal people like us. We have happy times. We have unhappy times. It has nothing to do with the money. We have whatever life throws at us is an up and down battle. Regardless of wealth, regardless of how poor we are, life's tough. Yeah. So I just see that he uses this whole interview as an opportunity to go, haha, your life was rubbish. Haha, you ruined your looks. Look at me. I have a simple life. My life was great. No, I see that Mike Stone has had to sort of hide away from the public and be hated by the public for the last 50 years, which must be horrible, all because of this decision, like he says, consequences and choices that he made in the 1970s to betray his wife, his unborn baby, his daughter, to betray and to be involved with a married woman, which then had a knock-on effect, which took Lisa Marie away from Elvis, her father, who she adored, to go and live. Lisa Marie had to go and live with a complete stranger. So you did damage, Mike Stone, you did damage. Yeah, I know. I do believe that Priscilla is more to blame. I wish Priscilla would say sorry and admit wrongdoing. Priscilla never admits wrongdoing. Yeah. So I'm sorry, Mike Stone, using this interview as a way of sniping at everyone. Oh, you are sad. You have no life. It was 50 years ago. Oh, you shouldn't be rich. You shouldn't be famous. How dare, you ruin your face with plastic surgery. It's dig. You're doing it wrong, my friend. I actually find it quite immature. My advice to you, I'm 57. Yeah. My advice to you, my friend, Mike Stone, I don't hate you, is properly say sorry. Stop having a dig at Elvis and Priscilla and Lisa and fame and money and success. Take away the jealousy, take away the bitterness. Remove your ego. And if of all people, Mike Stone, because you're into spirituality, the law of attraction, you will understand what ego is. The ego of the mind, or we have the true self. Yeah. So remove the ego, say sorry, admit wrongdoing, stop telling the fans that having strong views about what happened 50 years ago makes them sad and unhappy, because it's bullshit. It's bullshit, my friend. Please. But I do think, Mike Stone, I do think you've suffered enough. I do think you've suffered enough. You're much older now. I don't wish any hate on you. I don't want anyone who's watching this to hate on Mike Stone. We need to forgive you, but say sorry, my friend. Say sorry.
Back in the past, and just the mention of my name makes you upset, and you may not have ever met him once in your life.
Thanks, Jane.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah.
In the book,
I think it is, but people have their own idea.
See, Stefan, I really like Stefan. Stefan is a great guy. He does join in here and say it's true. But I just want to say this. We've known Stefan for 2 days now. I feel that we together, with our advice and our research about Elvis, have actually opened Stefan's eyes up and maybe removed, with respect, Stefan, maybe the blinkers are removed a bit. And I feel that we've done enough research, we have enough information from me and Team Elvis to make you see that there's more to this. There's more to this, yeah? When you start to understand all of the facts, yeah, and there's many, you start to realize Elvis was a victim. Now, I won't paint Elvis as an angel and a guy who did nothing wrong. I won't do that. Elvis made mistakes. He was no angel, but the circumstances with Mike Stone and Priscilla and Lisa and Francis Stone are disgusting. Disgusting. What Priscilla did to Elvis using Mike Stone, because I feel he was used, is disgusting. She massively needs to apologize.
Everybody has their own. Let me ask you, when you see yourself being portrayed in a movie, because there's been lots of movies of Elvis, and there's always a different Mike Stone in there. How does that make you feel when you're watching it or you see that and they portray it?
Yeah, it doesn't. Listen, I've done movies. I understand how they work. I know how you put them together. I know the basic concept of it. But let's take the last movie that Priscilla did. She obviously had a tremendous say and impact in who was casted to play me, what the role was going, how was she going to show the relationship, and she showed it the way she wants to show it now. That I was just the instructor. There was no romantic relationship, and all of this she's in denial, and for whatever reason she's doing it now. I don't know what her legacy is going to be. But this, and I can't do nothing about it, so I'll just accept it. If I can't do anything about it, if people want to believe what they want to believe, they will do that. I'm not here to change anybody's mind, but maybe we should all just, grow and evolve and become a little bit more tolerant. Like you said, when you get older, you become more patient, more wise, understanding. But some people have not. They're still living 50 years ago. So
here comes the digs.
Absolutely. In the book, you mentioned wondering why Priscilla chose you. Do you feel like she had an agenda? Perhaps there was a way to get back at Elvis?
Well, again, being honest, my ego at the time believed it was me, because I did think, she could have picked 1,000 guys in Hollywood that were very much more handsome, had more money, and more famous than I was, for sure. So why did she pick me? And I'm sure that's the question a lot of the fans had. Why this guy, this obscure guy that's just a karate instructor? I mean, she will have to answer that. I can't. But when she picked me...
Well, I can answer that, definitely. Now, I don't know why he keeps saying that he was obscure. He wasn't obscure. He was massive in the karate world, massive. He had won over 40 championships, yeah? This man was a very, very successful karate champion, yeah? So why did she pick me? Well, Elvis was obsessed with karate. The world of karate was really important to Elvis, yeah? We know that Elvis was an excellent karate guy, yeah? I don't even understand karate, but he was a black belt, yeah? And he even had his own dojo, I was told. He had his own dojo. But my point is this. Elvis really admired all the karate people in that decade, yeah? Like Chuck Norris, of course, Bruce Lee. I remember James Coburn was into his karate. My point is this. Elvis looked up to Mike Stone, even went out of his way to watch him in tournaments, in karate matches. Yeah. So you say, why did she pick me? Well, you were a famous in your world of karate, Mike Stone. You were very famous. You were not obscure. So I don't know why you're saying that. He's sort of saying, oh, I had nothing. I was ugly. I was poor. I was unknown. And so why did she pick me? Well, that isn't true. You were not unknown. You were not unknown. I'm not going to say you were ugly at all. I'm not going to say that. You weren't Elvis, because Elvis was the best looking man that's ever lived. But you had an amazing physique. I think you were reasonably handsome. But you were famous, massive in the karate world. That's why she picked you, because she knew that you would stand up to Elvis. She knew that her being with you, the karate guy, one of the most famous karate people in the world, was going to upset Elvis. I do believe there was revenge here. I believe that Priscilla wanted to get back at Elvis for all the hurt that she felt he caused her. So I actually think she had a cunning plan, and Mike Stone was part of the plan. How to get away from Elvis, how to go with someone that Elvis can't properly stand up to because he was a karate champion. She planned it all out. And the victim in all of this was poor Lisa Marie, was in the middle of it all and was dragged away from her father, Elvis, forced to live in a stranger's home that Elvis paid for. Yeah? So, Mike Stone, at least say the truth. You were not obscure. You were not ugly. You were actually, in your own right, as a karate guy, you were actually very famous. And you must have had money because you were running a lot of competitions, a lot of tournaments. So you had money. Okay. Yes, she wasn't as wealthy as Priscilla, but remember, all the money that Priscilla had, she took from Elvis. Elvis gave it to her.
For whatever reason she had at that time, I wanted to believe it was because of who I was, the person that I was. So that was my ego trip. And, you know, if that was not the reason she selected me, then for 4 years she lived a lie where I lived my truth. I wanted to believe that this was the truth, and I did the best I could to be a good partner.
Right, let me just, my son's just asked me for some money. I'm going to quickly send him some money, yeah? So I'm going to, whilst I'm sending him some money, can I ask you in the comments, do any of you think Priscilla loved Mike Stone? I ask you here, there's 30 people watching. Do any of you think Priscilla loved Mike Stone? I think that's a really interesting question. I'm just quickly going to send my son some dinner money. I think 4.5 years, weren't they, together? Right, let me just quickly send him some money. Then I'm going to read your comments. Got to keep the kids happy, guys. Got to keep the kids happy. Right, all done. Okay. Right, let's just read your comments. So, obviously, right, Gene, Priscilla picked Mike Stone because he knew he would get under her skin. Yeah, Gene, I fully believe that. And Linda said it as well. I totally believe it. Hi, Elizabeth. Yeah, I think they were, I'm guessing it's 4.5 years they were together. But it wasn't straightforward. I don't think she was completely faithful. I don't think Priscilla was faithful to Mike Stone. I'm not sure, but I don't think. Yep, Finola, he was a stepping stone. He was away from Elvis and her home and out of her life. She knew that if she left Elvis, she was going to be very well taken care of financially. She knew it. Hi, Dan. Don't think she was capable to love anyone but herself. It does seem that way, Dan, doesn't it? Yes, you still, let's have a look. Don't think Priscilla was capable of love. Maybe only her son, who she showed more love to. That I have noticed she's very close to Navarro. Now, I would say that she genuinely liked Michael Edwards. She genuinely liked him. I won't say it was love, but infatuation, intense infatuation, because she did allow him to get away with murder. Remember, there was drugs, cocaine, there was violence, abuse with Lisa. Obviously, we want justice for Lisa Marie against this horrific abuse at the hands of Michael Edwards, this alleged abuse for entertainment purposes, opinions only. We believe Lisa. We believe Lisa that she was abused. We want the authorities to arrest Michael Edwards and question Priscilla, because Priscilla was the responsible parent. We want justice for Lisa Marie. Priscilla is also to blame for the abuse that Lisa Marie had. I fully say that clearly. I would say that to her face. Her and Michael Edwards are equally to blame for the abuse. Anyway, let's keep going. So it's pretty obvious. None of us feel that Priscilla loved. Now, can I now ask a different question? How many of you think that Michael Edwards loved Priscilla? How many of you think that Michael Edwards loved Priscilla? Yeah, Linda, I agree. She was responsible. Yeah, the way he speaks about Lisa is just cruel. Hi, Carolyn. So, Josie, you think he fell for Priscilla. Karen, you don't think he loved her. Denise, you don't think Mike Stone loved her. Right, Linda, let's just remember we're talking about Mike Stone. Mike Stone, yeah? So how many of you think Mike Stone loved Priscilla? Yeah? Sorry, I confused you because I went off topic. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Dan, you think that Mike Stone did not love Priscilla? Yeah? Don't worry, Linda. What do you think then? Linda, do you think Mike Stone loved Priscilla? Right. Yeah, so I'm leaning towards that he did love her. Yeah, this is just Louis' opinion. I do think Mike Stone was in love with Priscilla. I think he still is now. I also think he was infatuated with her. He's already admitted that she, to him, is the most beautiful woman he's ever seen in his life. He said that in his interview. So, yes, infatuated as well. Debbie, I think both. I think he was in love with her and infatuated with her. And I think she, unfortunately for him, she dropped him like a rock. Yeah, Dan, I agree with that. He was in awe of, it's Elvis's wife. She's famous because let's face it, guys, Priscilla is one of the most famous women on the planet, and she has been for 50 years. So for Priscilla to fancy Mike Stone, from his ego point of view, it was like, wow, Elvis's wife, Priscilla Presley, the wealthy owner of Gracelands, the mother of Lisa Marie, Elvis's daughter, likes me. That is how he saw it. I do think he loved her. I really do. I'm going to put my jacket on, guys. It's a bit cold. I do think... Oh, got a hole in my jumper. I do think that he loved her. 100%. You know what? You can have a bit of... Elizabeth, I think you can have a bit of both. I think you can be in love and infatuated. You know why? Because I've been there. I've been there. When I was... you know, a man in my 20s, and even in my teenage years, when I was 17, 18, 19, I would fall in love and be infatuated. And then years later, you look back on it and you see it differently. So I think he truly liked her. I think to leave his pregnant wife, to leave his daughter, to leave a marriage, he loved Priscilla. Now, did he think that they were together forever? I think he did. I think when he made the decision that he thought, oh, Priscilla thinks I'm something special, we're forever. We're going to get married. We may have more children. I really think he was suckered in. When we know as fans, we know that she just used him. She took advantage of him. She seduced him. She used him to get away from Elvis. She did fancy him. She wanted to shag him. Yeah. She wanted to get naked with him. It's a bit crude, but I believe that. And she used him and spat him out. That's the truth. Mike Stone, no offense. She used and abused you and dropped you like a rock, which must be pretty embarrassing, must be pretty humiliating, because it was a very public affair, wasn't it? It went round all the tabloids, all the magazines. It was on all the TV news clips. And I actually think the way Mike Stone has been portrayed in the documentaries, the biographies, the movies, the TV dramas, even the most recent one,